What's up, everybody? It's David Scarpetta from the absolute #1 best internet marketing company on the web, and that's Get Found Marketing. All right, now we've got that through. I want to talk to you guys today about something that you've probably been typing into Google, you've probably been wondering about, and you've been seeing a lot of maybe web commercials, on YouTube videos. Everybody's got this different story about how to make a ton of money on drop shipping. But the question is drop shipping worth it? So, is dropshipping dead? Is it really worth it to do dropshipping in 2020, 2021, going on even into the future? Okay. Now, before we answer this question, I want to be able to tell you a little bit about myself and how to I'm going to validate why I know a lot about dropshipping. Now, I've been dropshipping since 2003. Okay, when I first opened my first company in the 90s into the early 2000s, there used to be a lot of products that we used to go and try to source from trade shows, okay? There were higher ticket items. And I thought to myself, well, how can I represent a product, right? How can I represent a product from another vendor and still make money by connecting the sale? And that was the beauty of the internet, okay? In the early 2000s, from like say circa 2003, 2004, all the way to as late as 2009 and beyond. Now, I'm gonna talk about it because we were able to secure certain really niche products in an industry that we developed a relationship with the vendor, okay? And now it's not like what you think. You see all these guys on the internet now who are just like, yeah, I just buy these little items from, from AliExpress and Alibaba, and I just drop ship it. Well, that game is totally different. I want to validate why. In fact, so much that in 2000, I'll show you guys a whole company that basically built on dropshipping. Right here, circa 2008, 2009. Now this site is actually still around, and we haven't visually done anything with it because it goes to show you that the dropshipping, and we're going to talk about that, is not the viable model that we once thought it was. Or actually it once was, but no longer is. And we're going to go through those details, okay? But there's always a big but. Always a big but, okay? You see here, this whole business, 90% of this business was a dropship model. We actually connected to about 28, 29 vendors where we never had to touch product, and it was shipping directly right to the customer. Like, so for instance, we'll do something like fragrances, okay? We were working with vendors that we would take their products and essentially market them. That's right, we were able to market them. And back then, it was a good model because what would happen is that we would get free advertising. We would get affiliates to work with us. There was a lot of awesome e-commerce scenarios that could help us keep our costs down, right? And still be able to make a profit, all right? So this is a product. Believe it or not, you would never know, right? Like, again, aside from the page being a little old, there's a few things here that we'll talk about. But the dropshipping, I mean, people were like, oh, this is a great price. As long as the price was competitive, we would, and even if the price wasn't competitive back then, we would actually make a sale, okay? Because we did things like SEO, which we'll talk about in other videos. But thing is that this is very, very lucrative business. We had thousands and thousands of products. But again, we're talking 2008, 2009. And the problem is, again, a lot of these guys that are talking to you on the internet, they're talking about, just as easy to build a Shopify store. Oh, it's just as easy to get one little small product. It cost me $1.50 from China. This is noise, folks, okay? You want to do dropshipping the right way. You want to do dropshipping profitably. And we're going to talk about a few of the pros and cons about dropshipping, okay? So without further hesitation, let's go back to, is it dropshipping worth it? Okay, that's the question. Is dropshipping worth it? Is it worth it? Well, let's talk about what the normal drop shipping looks like, okay? Normal drop shipping everybody talks about is buying cheap shit from China or buying direct, right? Because the idea of drop shipping is to get the order, send the order directly to the vendor via email or some other process, right? How they request it. And hoping it gets there. Now, let me tell you, we have done that as well years ago with certain items. We were shipping directly from the vendor. But there's a ton of problems. In a 2020 world where customer service is up here, okay? It's off the charts, folks, off the charts. You're gonna need to raise the bar to the Amazon level, right? Because why go anywhere to another e-commerce site if they're gonna, if you can buy the product cheaper on Amazon, or they can get free shipping, right? So now you've got to kind of meet that demand. Now, there is still opportunity at a very good time. So buying direct from the supplier, but a lot of these companies, let me tell you, they're Chinese companies. These suppliers, all these Alibaba, all these companies, AliExpress, all of these companies sell lots of cheap shit. Lots of ill quality, knockoff stuff that breaks, okay? And essentially, when you have this stuff and it looks great, it's like, oh, okay, I'll buy this, or you never actually see it. A lot of people who start dropship companies, because it's, again, a low out-of-pocket expense, will never even touch the product. Problem with that is if you start getting more sales out the door, let's just say you're doing all the right things, right? You get more sales out the door, people are going to start saying, oh, I don't want this. And where are they going to return it? They're not going to return it back to China. They get the envelope on the outside will say e-packet. It will say e-packet. So it's shipping from China. That's where it's coming from China, folks. Okay? Does China care about the quality of stuff? I'm going to let you guess on that one. Unless you're Apple or a bigger company, I'm going to say that your small purchases for $2, $3, $4 at a time, even if they come through by the thousands, times 1,000, they don't care. You're going to get sad, angry customers because sometimes the product isn't any good. Sometimes the product isn't, it looks really cool, but when they get it, it's a cheap piece of garbage, okay? That gives you customer friction. That can give you potential chargebacks. That could, or the other thing is, they never ship it. That's right, they never ship it. They never ship. They never ship the product. They never ship. They never ship. Okay? Now, you're like, well, I've had success with, let's say I don't agree with you, David, right? I've had success with drop shipping. Yes, you can make money with drop shipping. You can. But drop shipping from China is not going to be a viable model. And the reason I say that is because essentially the shipping from China is done with a thing called e-packet. So you could ship a small product to America via e-packet for something that would usually cost us like $20, $30 to ship to China. E-packet could send it to you for like $2 because of a trade agreement. Guess what? There's a big tariffs now. This e-packet is gone. Starting in 2020, e-packet is gone. Plus, there are tariffs now on other electronic products. So you have all these tariffs. There's actually a 25% increase. I'm going to show you a business that we were making No joke. We're an average between $3,000 and $5,000 a day in sales. Let me show you. This site, and listen folks, I don't care. I'm not gonna hide from anybody. This is genuinely, the bottom line is this is genuinely what we do. We help other companies. We have our own e-commerce projects. Here, we decided to drop ship this product. The hoverboards were expensive. They used to be like $599, $699, $799. And we're like, well, these are really expensive, but nobody really knew what they were. And we kind of, again, we've been doing digital marketing for years. We're like, well, let's start this website. Let's drop ship directly. So we were drop shipping directly. And does anybody remember what the hoverboards were doing? Does anybody remember the chaos that unfolded, that we would actually have that was going on with this company? Do you have any idea? This stuff was exploding. So we actually had to get UL certified. We had to show, we had like credit card processors were giving us hard times. So we were doing great in that amount of sales, right? It was awesome. But then all of a sudden, game over. And China is not taking back the returns because it wasn't cost effective to send it back to them. So we're eating the dollar. Okay, we were eating it until technically we found a US supplier. Okay, so we found a US supplier and then we started drop shipping those. Okay, from the US supplier. So we had an agreement with the US supplier and we started drop shipping those, and it became fruitful for a certain amount of time. But even that had its own inherent problems, okay? So the idea of like you waking up in the morning, having $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 in sales, that's a great idea, right? But is the work and is the risk, okay? Is the work, is the risk going to be worth, overall, the problems that you're gonna receive, right? Is it gonna be really worth the problems? So like, are you gonna worry about the risk, okay? That's a big deal. If the item is a higher price item, and especially now with the hoverboards, and it's really interesting, because the hoverboards were 25% tariffs now as of the last year and a half. So that just kind of hit a wall because it brought the price up, and we were making a joke, and we were making like less than 20%. And at the end of the day, if you're spending money on pay-per-click or anything else, it doesn't warrant the risk, okay? Your time is money, folks. I don't care what anybody says. You can be romanced all day long about, oh yeah, you know, I made this small little item here and it's great. And then, you know, I made $1,000 in sales. But if you're not taking home profit, if you're not actually taking home profit, what is the point? You need profit, folks. Profit. That is what equals, okay? That's what equals good drop shipping. That's right, good drop shipping. You gotta drop. Otherwise, you drop the drop shipping because it's not worth it anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? That's basically it. Like, the idea here is to limit the risk. Limit the risk. So now, if you're gonna drop ship it, first of all, if it's definitely not worth drop shipping now directly from China. It's not. Again, the quality of the product we talked about, okay, the service issues, even buyer's remorse. Even customers have buyer's remorse, like, oh, I don't like this, I want to return this. Where are you returning it to? You're going to eat it because everybody's got the big A mentality. And sometimes, I call a big A something else, but we're going to leave that for another video. They had the big A mentality. And you're like wondering, well, why should I do e-commerce and why should I do a drop shipping site or anything if we can deal with the big A? But you know what? Believe it or not, it is still profitable, but you have to know the formula. You have to do it the right way. Otherwise, all you got is this big, happy amount of risk, and you're gonna lose money. And people don't understand that sales do not equal profit. Sales equals sales. What you keep in your pocket equals profit. Okay, so you need to mitigate that risk. You need to get rid of the risk, right? You need to get people stop thinking about that. That's what you need. Okay, so the question is dropshipping dead? No, it's very close to being dead. Can it be done? Yes, it can be done to some extent if you do it the right way. Is it as simple? No, it's not that simple. Is it profitable? That depends. Is it profitable? Well, I would say no matter what, and again, I'm just going to give you out of the box, you need to make at least 35% from your cost. Okay? From cost, easy. Now, if you're making 35% from cost, and that's actually good compared to what I've seen out there. And if you're making 35% from cost, then you know what? If you have an autopilot, you have things that are happening and there are things that are working, and you're doing it, and you can mitigate that risk. Again, if you can mitigate that risk, you want to get risk out of here, and you can make 35%, then this is a go. Then we're gonna go. You're gonna go all the way. Okay? But again, this becomes math. Folks, being in business is not about just having a great idea. It's about having the motivation, having the knowledge, understanding shit. That's really where you gotta know. Doing some simple math. I consider percentages simple math. I don't know calculus, but I will know percentages. And percentages will be your best friend. Okay? So again, I cannot stress enough that when you ask me, well, is dropshipping dead? The thing is that dropshipping is not dead. It's not dead per se, but the old way of what you think dropshipping is dead. So the new dropshipping is, and I'll show you real quick. I'll give you a quick breakdown. So new dropshipping. So new dropship. I'm gonna get it. Whoop. I'm bad with my. You know it's crazy. My handwriting's even bad. This doesn't make it any better. It makes it just as bad, but now it's bigger. So we'll go new dropship. Okay. So new style dropship. U.S. company. Okay. It's got to be a U.S. company. It's not going to be worth it. You're going to be dealing with a lot of headaches. Okay? U.S. company. All right? Not competing against you. Okay? Not competing against you. They're not competing. What I mean by not competing is like if they are selling online for your product, you're going to have a hard time organic. If they're paying, and that's something, again, within the dropship world, a lot of the suppliers in America have gotten smart over the last 10 years, and that's good for them, okay? But they started making their own retail websites. They started phasing out the whole distribution model. They don't need you anymore. So the whole idea here is that they phased you out and they're selling direct to the public. So they have their distribution channels, or they just sell directly on their own retail site. So they may be doing SEO, they may be doing pay-per-click, they might be doing social media marketing, might be doing a ton of stuff, right? But they're competing against you. And what are you gonna do when they're competing against you? It's not even worth it. Because you're not gonna make the same margins, they're not gonna give you what you think that you need, you're not gonna get your 35%. Okay? And you're gonna have a hard time scaling it. And that's another thing about the dropship model. Unless you have a really brandable concept, okay, and again, we can go into this really deep, they're not gonna remember you. They're not. Unless you have a certain name and a concept. And again, if you guys are watching this for the first time, or this is the first time you hear me speak about digital marketing and digital business development, do yourself a favor and please click that subscribe button and also notification bell. It's gonna help you guys in the long run. understand. You're gonna get all of this on a silver platter, and I'll be able to show you guys, and especially in the description below, there'll be some links to e-commerce training courses website. So the e-commerce training courses will show you more about this stuff, about doing the stuff the right way. But anyway, again, I don't want to make this a long-winded video. So not competing directly with you, you're not going to get the 35%. And if so, that's actually happened to us where they had competing against us and we didn't have any type of price protection and it just became a disaster. You know, we're doing $5,000 a day on one of those other older sites I showed you and we're making like 8% profit, 9% profit. I mean, it doesn't pan out. It doesn't pan out, okay? It's not worth your time. I don't care what marketplace you're on, okay? So US company, not competing, and you have a personal agreement. So you have built a personal relationship. So it's either personal, it's a personal relationship. You've gotten personal with the person, okay? You have to get personal. So you have somebody there, you have a personal agreement, whether it be in light writing or whatever. We have a personal agreement with the company, okay? Have some locked in price points. You said you're gonna, you know, again, we'll go through and find in detail. We'll dive very deep about what the concepts are to work with for dropshipping. And then if you're making that 35%, if you're actually making 35 plus after your shipping promotions, you're probably gonna do it right. Now, how many companies are out there doing that? Not a ton. Like I said before, because everybody started selling direct because they don't need the drop shippers anymore, okay? They don't need them. So question is, answered here, is drop shipping dead? No, it's not dead. It's just difficult as fuck. So if you wanna do it the right way, okay, listen to these words right here. Understand that this profit needs to be made and all these variables are here. Know that the service bar has to be way up because even US customers aren't, even sometimes these US wholesalers, they don't have their act together. But that can also be a benefit to you. But we'll talk about that in another video. All right, folks. Well, hopefully you've gotten some information out of this. I'm all about helping you guys build brands, business, doing things the right way, automation. There's a lot to learn in the e-commerce world, a ton, and it's always evolving and always changing. And if you want to do it the right way, then just hit the subscribe button, okay? Hit the bell, and also go over to the e-commerce training courses, the URL in the description. And you guys are going to learn more and dive deeper about building a brand and a business that is sustainable, not a one-trick pony. Like a lot of people think they're gonna make $1 million, because it doesn't work like that. You can't sleep on your business, okay? You can sleep good at night, but you can't sleep on your business, especially if you're doing drop shipping, okay? But we'll show you about the automation and all the other cool stuff that comes with it. All right, guys, again, my name is David Scarpetta. Hopefully this has been educational. If anybody has any comments about their dropship business, what they tried to do, what they failed at, put it in the comments below. If anybody wants to challenge this, who's on the internet, who's making videos, tag them in the description. Put the at symbol and tag their YouTube tag. I'd be more than happy to go head to head with them and show and really clarify about what's really happening in the e-commerce space. All right. So because at the end of the day, we all want to make money, right? So knowledge is power. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching.